I am Rodney. I am the host of the greatest podcast in the world, well, at least in Phoenix, Arizona, Rando Commando Podcast. And tonight I have Dan Johnson. Dan has played drums for a number of years with famous acts and not so famous acts, but his big claim to fame was he played with the band Red, the Christian rock band, and he played with Head from Korn. And it's going to be great. Sorry about the dogs barking, but I'm a dog guy, and they can do whatever they want. But he did play with Head from Korn, and we're going to ask him questions about that. We're going to ask questions about Dan's recovery, because Dan he's been sober now for a little while, and he's in recovery, dude. So I'm in recovery. We're going to talk a little bit about that and just see where it heads. So, hey, Dan, how are you, buddy?
Good. Glad to be here, man.
Yeah, we're going to just kick it off with a couple of questions, a couple of light questions. Keep it light at the beginning, then we'll get into it.
Nice setup you got here.
It's not bad, huh? How bad? Yeah, it's not bad. We're getting there, so got to adjust it a little bit. I'm one of those guys that don't really care that much about it. Whatever, dude. If you guys like it, you like it. So, first thing we're going to talk about here, we're going to talk about bands and music career first. So, what was your first band? What did you do? How long did you play with them? Like your first break?
Well, the first time I was ever playing around out, on the road, like in a van, whatever, was with the Sam Theory. Remember those guys?
Oh, yeah.
On the way back.
Yeah.
So that was when I first moved out here. So we're talking like 05, 06.
Oh, so way back.
Yeah, way back. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'd go out and we'd we'd just, sleeping on people's floors and just playing whatever,
Rock and roll, baby.
Whatever. Yeah, it was completely like that. We'd be out, not even knowing how we're going to get to the next town, whatever. But it was fun. And then I, auditioned for Head's band and, started playing with him, and that was pretty much where it all really took off right there. Played with him for a good number of years, and then we, evolved over into Love and Death, which was the new form of Brian's solo band. And we rebranded it, and then was with him. Last time I worked with him was in 2017. So
so it's recent.
Recent. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, but he's doing great. And he's
what's he like to work with?
He was a great influence in my life. Musically and as a person too. He was cool, and especially because he's recovery too, and
he became a Christian right at that time too.
It was a great source of inspiration, and just he was. In the beginning, he was really more reserved and stuff, and then he loosened up over time, and now he's really cool. But
is he a little ADHD?
A little bit, yeah. But he's a mad genius.
Yeah, that's cool, man. We love you, Head.
That's right. That's
great.
Right.
We have a ton of mutual friends, me and Head, but we've never met. Like Dan knows him, Ralph Patlin knows him.
Yeah.
My wife's best friend knows him, Roxanne Grace. She knows him. It's like. It's so crazy. I just missed him at my daughter's birthday party. Roxanne was there, and Head came at Castles and Coasters.
Oh, cool.
And I wasn't there, so
I got into Head's band through Ralph, and I worked the door at a nightclub, and the nightclub was attached to a recording studio. It's called Phase 54.
Oh, I remember that.
So Ralph worked in the studio, and then I worked up top, in the bar.
Yeah.
Thinking I was watching Roadhouse all the time. I was.
Thought you were Swayze.
I was thinking I was tough stuff. Yeah,
Swayze, dude.
So. That's how I met Ralph, and then a couple of years later, he called me to come audition for Head's band. So that wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have taken the job at that club. So that's what made that.
That's crazy. How I'm a Christian, and I believe nothing happens by mistake.
No.
Everything's orchestrated. You have a calling, you have a purpose, and I mean, a lot of people believe that whether you're a Christian or not. But I really believe that events come to pass on your path, and it's what you choose to do on that path. You can get a great break like Dan did, join Head's band, but you can screw it up too with your decision making. So, and it can be difficult to navigate any of this stuff, any life stuff. I have situations that I have to navigate every day with business and personal life. So it's all about the decisions, and when you make the decisions, sometimes it's good and sometimes it ain't, and you just that's how you learn and grow.
Duck and weave.
Yeah, duck and weave, dude. So, did you record with any of these guys? Did you record with Head? Did you do albums with him?
Yeah, I did Between Here and Lost, that Love and Death album, and then 2 tracks off of Lo Lamento, and then Let Me Love You, the next record.
Videos? You did videos with him?
I did videos with him. Yeah,
that's rad.
Videos. Yeah,
I have to find those on YouTube.
Yeah. There's some good ones. There's some good ones out there. But and then with Red too, I recorded it was on 3 albums, and then
let's slow down. Let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about Red. So any of you guys are familiar with rock and Red, I think when I was in the joint, it was my favorite album. Their first album. When I heard it, I became a Christian. One of the reasons I stayed a Christian was because I'm a musician, and I was like, this is Christian, and you can rock like this and be a Christian. Well, that was just, God using Red to keep me in Christianity, to keep me involved and keep me interested. So I want to know the whole thing with Red, like where you guys toured, how it was recording, like the whole thing, dude.
Well, so we were able to tour all over, and luckily I was fortunate enough. We went to a lot of countries, and they have a good international fan base. And we were able to go to New Zealand twice. We went to Russia twice. We were.
What was Russia like?
But Russia was awesome. It was before all the craziness going on. So they were really, really nice to us. And dude, I'm honestly, you could have left me there and I'd have been a happy man, because we all had we each had our own limo. We had our own room in a 5-star hotel. They had guys who would stay with us and escort us around and stuff, like Mercedes.
Were they like KGB?
I think so. I think everyone is. And the nightclub that we would always play over there, I heard, some what's going around, that it was guys in suits on each side of the stage and stuff like that. It was all.
It's probably all gangsters.
Yeah.
Russians
around there. I love it though. I love it.
Yeah, Russians, man, you don't play, man. Chechens. You ever heard about Chechens, man? You don't want to play. Even from the movie, I'm good. I don't want to play Chechens.
No.
So, how many records? Because my favorite album was the first album.
End of Sound.
And you weren't.
You
weren't with them.
That was. They really sat in 2006.
Yeah, it was old. Yeah, it was old.
I joined them in 2014.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, what albums did you do with them?
So I was on Beauty and Rage. I was during a couple tracks during the Gone period, and then I was on Declaration.
Well, Gone, wasn't that all digital?
It was a lot of digital. We did a couple tracks.
Sorry, guys, in Red, it wasn't my favorite record.
Oh, I
love you guys.
I loved those songs.
I didn't like them. So live, you played drums on those songs?
Yes, and then we would, we'd have a sample pad, and the guitar player had a sample pad too, so we were doing a lot of electronic stuff, which was really cool.
It's so crazy that bands now, dude, it's all about in-ears and click tracks. I mean, that's great for the timing of the music, but I almost feel like you lose something with click, dude. And you've got all this stuff going on. And I don't remember what band it was. Was it Asking Alexandria that wouldn't go on because their backing tracks wouldn't work? So they couldn't play their set. I'm thinking, I would never want to be in a position where if my backing tracks didn't work, I couldn't play. Did you guys ever have that problem?
Yeah. Well, that's actually a funny story, because one of my first 2 gigs I did with Red was at the Murray Hill Theater in Jacksonville, Florida. And the power wasn't working for the tracks like that, so we couldn't get it working, and they were on the fence about calling the show. But we went out there and we played it garage band style, and it was one of the most fun Red shows I had in the whole time I was with them. We just did it all through just regular. It was really cool.
Well, I mean,
just do it. Just do it. Just take just one show. If your tracks don't work, just that one time, just play garage band.
Yeah,
go out there.
Just go out there and do it. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
What's crazy about this, though, is I think that Dan played to a click track. He's played with everybody in the studio, so he's used to a click track. But as far as natural timing on our album, dude, you kept a tempo.
Thanks.
That's one of the best things about. So a good drummer won't rush the song or won't slow the song down. Everybody knows that. And I've had that experience with almost every drummer except Dan. I did not have that experience. And some of the songs that Fab wrote were extremely slow, but they rock.
Right.
They're slow.
They rock.
Yeah. So.
What up, Fab?
What up, Fab? We love you, bro. We need to get Fab on this podcast. You guys, right. Johnny Fab. I'll get him on here.
That's right.
That dude, I love that dude. But so check it out. So we get Red. You got videos going with Red too?
Yes.
Get videos.
I was in the Darkest Part video. Let's see what else. And the Evening Hate video.
Okay.
Which the Evening Hate video, if anyone wants to check it out, there's a little mini movie that goes along with that, and it's really cool.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll check it out.
And all the Red videos, when played in order, are actually part of the same storyline. So it's all one storyline.
Wow.
Red actually has a comic book, in that comic book series and stuff like that.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
So let's get out some little. Since you're not with them anymore, we're going to talk about a little bit of rough stuff here. But first of all, I know a lot of people that know me that will probably watch this are musicians, and I've got other musicians coming on here. So what did Red pay you? What's a drummer making that's playing with the band? I mean, they're medium, they're not. There's some arenas they probably play, and they played stadiums and all that, but what do they pay?
You're making between $250 and $5 a show. Whatever.
Okay.
So
how many shows a week?
So, 4 to 5 shows a week. They would want a couple days off, whatever.
Yeah.
But so you're playing 4 to 5 shows a week.
So what was your average?
So it was, between that, just you'd make 4 figures a week on our good weeks and stuff like that. When we're out like when they were doing it and stuff. And I will say this: like what I learned with Red, it was a well-oiled machine. We would tour, and like those guys, they taught me a lot of great lessons. And one of them was precision on tour, and like just the drill team mentality, and like the ship has to keep running this, and like this, everyone moves the same way, like gears on a freaking machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that was part of the deal. So I'll always be grateful for that. And like we got to do a lot of great experiences together. So that was priceless, in itself. So
yeah, dude. So check it out. I get out of the joint, and I got this album that we wrote with Johnny Fab, who I was talking about earlier, and Walter Willis. And we write this crazy music that ends up being pretty decent in our eyes. We didn't know. And so I'm looking around. I run into Jay Kearney. I'm chairing an AA
Jay,
meeting.
what up, Jay?
Yeah, what up, Jay? So Jay and I are I think I spoke at a meeting that he was chairing, or we were chairing it. I can't remember. It was like 6 years ago. So I walk into this meeting. I was sharing at it. Yeah, he had asked me to share. So I tell my story, and me and Jay hook up. We get the numbers, and he tells me, "Hey, I'm a bass player, and I played in Lemon Crayola." And I was like, "Do you remember Liquid Poets?" My first mate goes, "Yes, we actually played together." So it's a small world of music.
Yeah, man, especially in this town too. Especially in this town.
Yeah, so Jay and I hook up, and he's got a studio. Well, he had a studio down on Central and like Camelback, and we started in there. And I said, "Hey, man, I need a drummer." And this dude shows up, and he tells me he plays with Red, and so you got to remember, I just came from prison. And what did I tell you about prison? That is my favorite band. That's what I listen to all the time. So I felt like that was a really cool, situation that happened, that God was involved. So it's pretty cool, man. I appreciate it.
Yes.
So what happened with Red? I mean, let's start talking about like that.
No, it was just we had come off we just finished the Winter Jam tour in 2020, and it was like April 2020 and then the COVID shut everything down.
Right.
So luckily we got to finish that tour pretty much, because that's one of my favorite tours I ever did. It's called Winter Jam. Oh my God, I love it. So we were home for that COVID break and everything, and then we just, we had some creative differences, but also I was, not living my best life as far as being the man I want to be and that should be. So, they taught me a lot of great lessons, and the lessons they were trying to teach me, I was too immature at that point to receive them. You know what I mean?
Right.
To understand them, but like I am now. So, they were just trying to, show me the where the road was going to take me when I was just not, too hard headed to listen to them.
Yeah.
So we ended up parting ways, in early 2021 officially, just, for like, I don't know, just a couple different reasons. One of them was creative differences, as cliche as that sounds. Another one was money, but the real one was because I was like, just not being the man I should be, and that's basically the best way to put it.
That leads up to this question,
Right.
then. So okay, so Dan has been in recovery now. And I won't go into what fellowship or what happens, because we try to keep it anonymous. Let's just say he's in recovery.
That's right.
And why don't you talk a little bit about why you got into recovery? Like, what happened? What was the deal?
Well, it was just as they say, your life becomes manageable.
Yeah.
And, you can only go so far living for yourself and being self-serving, perpetual pleasure chasing, as they say. So that there's more to life than that. And that's what I'm very grateful. I feel lucky to have been given that light. Another thing too about me, and I'll say it, I'll talk about.
You can talk about anything, dude.
I'm a proud Freemason, and we believe in making men better. And that was one thing that changed my life a lot too, is I became a Freemason. So,
a lot of people are a little crazy about Freemasons.
Yeah,
I mean, we hear a conspiracy like they're, we've all seen the TikTok videos on Freemasons and what they do. Maybe at the higher level, I don't know. Dan, could you straighten us all out with that?
In our textbook definition, we're an organized society of men symbolically applying the teachings of operative masonry to the science and art of character building. And we're all, Christian belief and good godly men. That's one of the requirements. So that's why when people say they say things about being Satanists, stuff like that. I just feel bad because they're just misinformed or not, just going off of what they read about some
Yeah,
some
I
gossip
mean,
magazine or
here's
something.
here's the thing. I don't have any. Here's my philosophy on it. I don't have any proof of that. I hear people's opinion and I see videos on it. There's a couple that I've seen that might be convincing, but they were real high up dudes, real powerful, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, like anybody at the top
Yeah.
would probably be corrupted. So,
And that's all. It is something.
well, everybody thinks it's satanic. That's what they think.
Nothing like that. But I just I'm proud to show off that I am one. That's all reason. I won't get into it any further. But I just that was part of my reason I brought it up is because it led me to even wanting to be in recovery. So that was what first got me on the path to trying to rebuild myself. So,
Yeah, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So
what? I mean, you don't have to answer, but I'd really love it if you got honest here. What drugs were you using? Was it alcohol? Was it heroin? Was it crack?
No, it wasn't.
Was it turkey baster and meth in your butt?
No, nothing like that.
I'm just
let's
kidding.
just say it was stuff that kept you awake, and that's all I'll say about
Yeah,
it. So
sounds like a lot like crystal methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not ashamed of it. I was a heroin addict and I cracked cocaine and alcohol, everything, but really in the end, it was crack cocaine and alcohol, and I've been sober for a long time. Not ashamed to talk about it. Sometimes though, people get a little worried about their anonymity, so we got to respect it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to look at my questions here. I got a whole bunch more. All right. So kind of tell me, since you got sober, what's it like now? What's life like?
It's clear.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
Clarity and wholesome, honest. More fulfilling, I guess, and I've been able to recognize things in myself that should have been worked on in the past, but when you're doing that kind of thing and going through that kind of life, whatever, you stop growing emotionally and
whenever you start,
right, so I've been kind of playing catch up, I guess you'd say, but happy to do so.
Yeah, I'm 23 right now. I'm 53, but I'm actually 23 emotionally. So, hey, Dan, how old are you, Dan?
39.
So he's 39. It's funny, I got sober at 42. So it's almost like we do, musicians are weird because we're creative and we're all probably a little ADHD and OCD and all that, which makes good musicians, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But we're a little bit more stubborn. I think we take a little bit longer to get it through our thick heads because we love that kind of life. We like the attention of the rock bands and the partying and stuff. But but that's what I'm saying. It's so self-serving. It's pride and ego that gets involved. When I got sober, I had to smash. It took a long time to smash my ego and my pride.
Yeah.
You go and play in front of people and you're singing, and every girl in the bar wants to know who you are. And that to me, back when I was younger, not now, absolutely not now, but back when I was young, I would kind of get fuel from that, you get tension. So
validation seeking.
Validation.
That's one of the things that, being sober has helped me or whatever, because you get your validation from within, not external.
From God. You get it from God.
It's made me realize things that were stemmed from even childhood or whatever, that led into that kind of behavior later in life,
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's just the clarity and the on track for.
So your brain's clear.
Brain is clear.
Yeah. I love it. Well, dude, that's
and my heart is too. So.
I remember having maybe 4 or 5 years sober, and I was in the joint still. And I remember thinking as clear as I've ever thought in my entire life. And I was in prison, and I was having a great time. I had this really cool job with the National Guard, and I was welding. I was learning a new trade. I've been an electrician my whole life, so I was learning stuff, driving heavy equipment, and I was like, this is prison. This is cool. And then I was on the fire crew fighting fires. So I was leaving every day from the prison, and I just thought it was neat. I remember being out in the mountains one time. We were hiking the mountains on a fire. We're getting ready to they cut lines in the dirt to stop make a break in the fuel so the fire stops. And we're sitting there on the mountain cutting line. And I remember looking across this desert mountains, and it was a nice day, and it wasn't hot. And I remember being sober, even if it's in prison, is pretty rad. My best day sober in prison was better than my worst day out in the streets using heroin. You know what I mean? That's such a bold statement. How could prison be better? Dude, when you get clean and sober after you've been so messed up and so what's the word I'm looking for? Just not clear headed, like foggy for so long where you can't even form sentences and think correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we've been up for a day.
Yeah, you've been up for a while, or
Stupid.
yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it can't be good on
Yeah.
your body. So
Yeah. No.
yeah.
Now I get frustrated because I'm like, man, I wish I would have learned the lesson sooner.
Nah.
You know,
you can't be mad about that. You learned it when exactly when you were supposed
there
to
you
learn
go.
it.
That's right.
You know, and I think I was telling Dan this the other day. I really think like this guy is such a phenomenal like studio drummer, and I'm not just saying that because we're friends. I mean it, dude. There's hasn't been too many people. So if any bands need a drummer to track, this is your. I'm not joking. I'm not doing a shameless plug for him. I'm just letting you know, like we went in with songs that he had never heard before, and we tracked them the same day. We came up with the drum lines. I played the riff. We went over them a couple times, and then we tracked them. And listening back onto some of them, I'm like, whoa, this is like, there's that one song, Hating You Is Killing Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to the drums and the breakdown. I'm just like, oh, that is so rad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is a cool drum beat. And it's so tight, dude. It's just, if you're a musician, you know, dealing with drummers is different. You know, you get
on and off the stage.
Yeah, on and off the stage. Absolutely, dude. They're squirrely. You got to keep them tied down, bro. So yeah, well, I'm glad that you're sober, dude. That's
Yes, sir.
I love it, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. What do you think that out of everything that everybody you've worked with? Oh, what are you doing now? Before we go there, what are you doing now?
So I'm playing a lot of country music now. Play with JD and the Black Stallions, and that's I do a lot of different kind of gigs with them. And I love country music. I'll say it right now. I do. I love country music.
I won't. I'm not going to hold that against you.
Thank you. Please don't. Thank you. And I'm playing There Is No Us, and I just got off. I just did a couple tours with them. We went out with Mushroom Head for a few weeks, and then we just did a tour with Rorschach Test. And I got some dates coming up with the Paper Cut Massacre, and I think I'm doing a few Flaw shows in May too. So that's kind of like the word to
Nice.
playing Flaw. So
Oh, that's your first band, right?
well, no, I did a short stint in Flaw in 2017. And
I heard
you know,
that guy's a dick.
No, he's sober
he
now
is?
too, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
a firefighter in Madison, outside of Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay,
now.
so but he
And
was kind of back then
well,
because he was using.
we were both in
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
ways. At the
Right,
moment,
right.
You know what I mean? We were both.
That happens. I've been there. I've had one.
But like when we talk now, and it's like two different people talking. You know what I mean?
That's
So
great.
like, he's he's kicking ass out there in the fire crew and stuff. And he's
Nice.
yeah, I just talked to him yesterday, so yeah, he's
That's
doing
good, man. Isn't it cool? Like when
Chris
you get
Voles,
sober.
What up, Chris Voles?
Yeah, dude. I remember you guys a long time ago. You had like a song, man. I don't remember it, but I kind of remember it, the video. But I was a big fan of all that kind of music, Seether and all them back in the early mid 2000s.
But no, when I went out with them in 2017.
You know Seether?
No, not either. No,
Okay.
No, when I was playing for Flaw.
Oh yeah.
So like we would play every night of the week. That was one thing. Like it
Sure.
made you sharp. Yeah, we were out. We played the show every night of the week. Like so, it was 7 nights a week.
What's a band like that pulling in a night? What are they?
Well, they did. All say is they did all right. You know, that's
Okay.
all I'll say. So
Well, I was curious about that because
Mm-hmm.
I always, I wanted to do that for a long time. Not so much anymore, but I wanted to do that, and it's the whole business now is wrapped into touring because you can't sell music because it's free. You got to sell merchandise, and now I heard the venues are taking 50% of the door and 50% of your merch that you paid for, which is insane to me. You know what I mean? Like this is not yours to take, but they want it because they can't make money any other way now.
I keep avoiding questions or answers about the numbers because I want people to think I'm a baller.
Yeah, well, if you're making $250 a show 4 nights a week, I think we already can do some math. I hope my viewers know how to do math. I hope so. But yeah, I just think it's kind of neat. I never got to do that. I mean, the choices that I made, I never got to do that. But I was more of like a writer. I enjoy writing music way more than
the
performing
music
it.
is awesome. The deepest bones.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard that
Thank
yet,
you.
like, you know.
Yeah, it's good, man. I think I'm gonna probably start the. This is podcast episode number 1. I think I'm gonna start it with some of our music, as like Lockdown or something. Yeah,
And I think now's a good time as any to announce there's a new project coming out between Roddy and I.
Yeah.
It's a 90s tribute.
Yeah.
The grunge tribute. So keep on the lookout for that.
Yeah, we're gonna. Well, I mean, we figured like there's a big market in these novelty, I guess.
I love the tribute scene, man.
Yeah, the tribute scene, like, and what's cool about the tribute scene is you don't really need to rehearse because they're all pros. We're playing these songs, learn your parts, and show up and play them, right?
But rehearsing is still good.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, maybe once in a while. But yeah, it's fun to rehearse, especially on those old songs. It's actually not work when you're doing that. It's more fun than work. So I'm really like kind of on the fence about what I'm going to do with my career. I'm going to make some announcements coming up soon, but
There you go.
I think I'm probably going to like just write and record for the rest of my life, obviously. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a later podcast. But yeah, there's some changes coming. But I really think that the cover scene, I mean, you can make actual money. My thing is, like, I want everything that I do, everything that I touch, everything that I can to make money, not take money from me.
Yeah.
And in this economy, man, it's rough. We all know it's rough right now. Everything's so expensive. That cover band, when he told me what they clear, I was like, you got to be kidding me! Like at a corporate
and it's
event,
fun. Like I mean,
and it's fun.
Like, you can do gigs for like Charles Schwab or like I don't know, it's like these.
Yeah, and you're making money.
Yeah,
you're
cool.
making money, and
Black tie events. I love those gigs, man.
Yeah,
your background music, but I don't care. It's still a blast and it's awesome.
Yeah. It doesn't matter that your background music. Who cares? Yeah, Stone Temple Pilots. Cracker Man is a background elevator music. Yeah, he's a man.
Yeah.
I just hear that gets me excited because there's so many great 90s bands. You got like Stone Temple Pilots, you got Alice in Chains, you got Pearl Jam, you got Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana, Soundgarden. I mean, the list goes on. And there's a bunch of one-hit wonders too. Yeah. Remember the presidents of the United States of America?
Of course, yeah.
I want to play that stuff too, dude. Well, why not, dude? Or hey, Puddle of Mud.
Yeah, of course.
Or hey. Calm down. Sorry, I'm not going to take the dogs out. This is a podcast. It's in my house, and I love my dogs.
They're mad at me. That's like
they're mad at Dan for being here. Yeah. Anytime you're new in this home, they let you know. But yeah, I think some of these one-hit wonders. Like, remember Days of the New?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That became Tantric. That became.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Touch, Peel, and Stain. That was the name of that song they had.
Yes. Mine is the Downtown. Bring me down, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
It's called the Downtown.
Oh,
it's one of my favorites. And what's cool about it is all acoustic. So when you're playing the guitar riff, you got to be clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's a pretty good writer too. So I was very impressed with him. It's one would be so inclined to play 80s cover. That's like a big moneymaker right now. But who can sing it at our age? That's what I want to know. Dan, you know anybody that can sing Cinderella?
I mean, we're on the lookout for it. I need to sing the 80s too.
Yeah, we need an 80s guy, so we could I wouldn't be able to sing any of that. 90s is right up my alley, you know what I mean?
Here we go.
No problems doing Eddie Vedder, and no problems doing
Passion.
Yeah, Faith No More.
Yeah.
See, now you're talking. This is what a podcast is for.
We'll do some Faith No More down there.
Dude, Faith No More. Okay, let's stop right here. So there's an album, the second album, it's called Angel Dust. And it's probably my favorite album because what he does in that, everybody knows this singer. If you like rock music, Faith No More singers, Mike Patton. Well, he has like 5 other bands: Mr. Bungle, Tomahawk, Phantomas. Keep going. There's another one. There's another one. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
So there's a lot of them. So this guy's super creative. But what he did on Angel Dust is he took 2 different melodies, right, to a song, and he takes them and he weaves them together over like the chorus. He sings 2 parts to a chorus and he weaves them in and out. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing that almost every chance I get. I think it's brilliant. Because you take the parts that everybody are singing and you intertwine them and they're perfectly weaving together. And it's just, to me, I'm like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, who thinks of that? And Mike Patton, he's a genius and he can actually sing. So some of these, man, would require a keyboard player. We haven't even thought about that.
And that could be backup vocals too. So it could be like a utility person. So that's probably a good thing to have anyway.
Yeah, a keyboard utility.
We can throw some cool stuff when we have the keyboard element.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, it's cool with keyboards too because you can have like the backings, the stuff that's behind it on the record. Like, is it important, like when you're playing with the country band, is it important to sound exactly like the record?
I like to, but I mean, I like to sound like, I'll look up their live versions too of a lot of these songs just to see what they're doing now.
Yeah.
I like to play that version too, but for the most part, you should at least know it like the record before you start making changes.
Right.
So if you're going to make changes, that's fine, but you better at least know it note for note first, and then make your changes, just so you can, whatever.
I agree.
But you should at least know it though, like the original, the way it is. There's a reason it's like that. They were around long before you. Don't try to change it and act like you know better. You
try to change the formula, huh? Yeah. Well, it's cool because when we were in prison, we had a band room. A lot of people don't know that, but we had a band room in there, and we played covers because there would be a couple of concerts a year, and this is 1,100 guys on this yard, 1,100 guys. So we do these concerts with a fundraiser where you would get they'd say you can order a hamburger, a hot dog, a steak, and like some other stuff, chips and whatever with it. And we don't get that stuff in the joint. You just don't get it. So you would pay like $50 for a steak, but the money would go to a good cause. It would we raised money for Relay for Life, which was a cancer thing. So we were able to have that food for the day. So I would get a steak, and we would play a huge concert. There'd be 7 or 8 yard bands. You'd have all the brothers out there playing funk. You'd have a couple of white dudes playing metal or country. You'd have a band that did the 70s almost every year, and usually Fab was on that. And then you'd had us. We were always the original act, and then I had the Christian worship act that we would do. But it was so fun. And what it taught me in there, I was playing with a couple guys in there that knew these songs like every part. So if I was singing on a Bad Company song, I had to sing it like Paul Rogers sang it. And one of the greatest compliments I ever got was this old crusty dude named Jimmy Walker. And he never gave anyone compliments. He just was a cantankerous SOB. And he walks up to me and goes, "You sounded just like Paul Rogers." I'm going, "No, I didn't." But for Jimmy to say that made me feel good that day, because everybody knows Paul Rogers is a badass. So it was the greatest compliment by the most cantankerous dude I ever met.
Yeah.
This dude used to cook tamales in a mop bucket, dude. Like,
and how else do you cook them?
Yeah, I mean, we don't. Yeah, you get a mop bucket and little immersion heaters, dude, and boil the water, dude. Hey, man, you work with what you got. It is ridiculous.
That sounds crazy.
Dan always asks me, this is why I'm here. Right before the podcast, we're downstairs, and he's asking me some crazy questions about like prisons and riots. And
it's fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's like a whole subculture, man, to be in there. And to be in there for a long time is weird too. But I don't want to get in depth on that. But I will. Another episode. Maybe I'll have somebody interview me about that.
I'll have questions for you about that.
Yeah, we could do part 2 to this.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, but so what is the future hold? What does the future hold for you, dude?
Lots of drums, lots of clean living, lots of godly living, and lots of good living there. So there you go.
So what do you think as far as music? Do you think you'll ever get on tour with the band? I think he's gonna, you guys.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Well, because he's clean now, dude, and he's got a different personality. You guys got to know him before, and now it's a totally different person. Everybody notices it too in AA. So nice. What band would you like to play with, since we're doing a podcast?
I was lucky enough to play with them once, and I've always wanted to go out with them again. But we played a show with Rammstein.
Oh yeah,
my dream.
You did a show with them?
We did. Yeah, it was over
with Red.
Yeah, with Red. It was over in Poland. It was one of the coolest things, man. It was.
Well, they have the greatest live.
They are to this day the greatest live spectacle I've ever seen in my life.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I can't stand their music, but I
can't even describe it because people won't even understand unless they see it. Like it's, I mean, there's missiles and fire everywhere. It's Coliseum status. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna go on YouTube and check this out. I know they're on there. They gotta be. People have filmed it.
Oh yeah.
So you'd like to play with them or play with the band that tours with them?
Either one. Either one. There you go.
Well, dude, I think there's a lot of bands out there that could benefit from that. And I'll say it again, dude. If anybody needs a studio drummer, he's your guy.
And I'm a country music man now too.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
That is a big part. That is a big part of my life now.
Is that what sobriety brings us? Is changes Dan from a hardcore metal guy to this? But he's a great metal drummer. Okay.
Thanks.
I hope that country doesn't sissify you.
There's lots of metal players in the country, but
I'm sure there is.
Country's the new 80s rock. So there you go.
What's funny is when I listen to like Jelly Roll do country, or just these guys, mainstream guys, like what's the guy with all the tats on his face?
Post Malone.
He's doing it. He's actually pretty good at it. It seems like they just kind of get in where they fit in on the country because they're a big name, and everybody likes country. So I am not a musical whore, though. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. Don't want to do it. No offense to country guys. It's like some people don't like rap. I kind of like rap, but I don't like country. You know the old joke, country and rap, you call it crap. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Very good.
Yeah, very good. Well, we're going to wrap this up, and I just want to thank everybody for watching us. Hopefully, if anybody sees this, we're looking for sponsors. I have a couple local, but I'd love to get some sponsors on here. We'll push this channel to the heights of heights. I plan on having 10,000 viewers by next month, and I'm going to push it until I get it. So your support is very much needed at this point. We want to get this out here. I'm going to have some other musicians on here that you might know coming soon, and I'll announce them. And you can follow me on Randall Commando on YouTube, and there's a couple of us out there, but I can tell you mine has like a World War II buff soldier on the front. So if you see an old soldier that's buffed with a gun, like a cartoon, that's me. And I'm going to try to get that straightened out and see if these other guys can get out of the way so you know who I am. So we love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
See ya.
Good job.